Most High for taking the things of the world off of my shoulders.
Put some muscles on that thing real quick.
Yeah. Thank you, Father. Lord, you made my desires pure. Yeah. You made my desires pure. Yeah. You made my desires pure. Yeah. You made my desires pure. I want wisdom, understanding. I don't want no Grammy. I wanna live a righteous life with a righteous family. I want a wife that love you more than she love me. Wanna show my people that they royalty. Wanna live by your commands, on your word we stand. I'd rather be touching scriptures than touching these banks. No riches gon' profit nothing in a day of wrath. I was living in my mess, I had to take a bath. Created me a clean heart, but made me pure. The things of the world, y'all, it's time to ignore. I want love, I want peace, I want everlasting life. Well done, my good and faithful servant, walking in that light. I'm on this narrow path, trying to save a soul. I want my people in Jerusalem, the days are old. I wanna get to the homeless, show them that he cares. I wanna get a homeless, hope we almost out of here. Get your example through your son, and it's the only way. Ain't no pagans over here, we keepin' holy days. I want my people, stop the killing, we dropping the prophets. I want us come back to the laws, it ain't no other option. Don't want no hate up in my heart, not over no doctrine. I want the fruits of the spirit, y'all could keep the nonsense. I had to renew my mind, I had to free my conscience. I had to confess my sins, I had to be honest. I want the Ruach HaKodesh to come into me. I only trust the Father, not the enemy. The Father word, he came to cleanse the enemy. I only want the Spirit, so I'm killing me. The Father gave me righteous things that I desire. I want to see the kingdom, not the lake of fire. I don't want no drugs, scriptures got me higher. If we come in the pure, how we gon' make it higher? Desires pure. You made my 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 desires pure. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard all that you had for me. Eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard all that you had for me. You made my desires haven't seen, ears haven't heard all that you had for me. You made my desires haven't seen, ears haven't heard all that you had for me. You made my desires pure. See all that weight that was on our shoulders. You made my desires pure. Was the things of this world. You made my desires pure. I want to say thank you, Father. You made my desires pure. Getting that weight off our shoulders. Hallelujah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Facebook Live, good morning. Breaking Strongholds Ministries. Good morning, YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. How's everybody doing this morning? Happy Sabbath day, This is the day that the Most High have made, so let us be glad and rejoice in it. Let us be glad and rejoice in this. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I hope your week has been a great week. I hope that the Most High have really truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, joy, and kindness. I hope that He has really truly given you wisdom and knowledge and understanding of who He is and what He has done and what He will continue to do. I hope He has protected you and your offspring from the wickedness and the evil demonic spirits that is upon the earth today. I really hope and truly He has really truly blessed you. My week has been an okay week. I can't really complain about anything. Just trying hard to try to walk at least 2 or 3 miles every other day. And do some type of calisthenics. You know, I'm trying to do some push-ups, sit-ups. I got a friend of mine, he posts on Facebook every morning or whenever he's at the gym. He go to the gym at least 3 times a day, 3 times a week. And he posted that on Facebook when he's going to the gym or in front of the gym. So he kind of encouraging me to try to work out or walk at least 3 days a week. So I'm trying to do that. So y'all pray that I had the strength to continue to do that and stuff. But other than that, my week has been a good week. I can't complain too much. The writing is on the wall. A lot of things is going on. The writing is on the wall. I hope you all recognize that and see that for what it is. But let us go ahead and get started this morning. I'm going to say this to you too before I get started. Turn to Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. But I want to say this to y'all this morning. I really need to know, I really need to get some feedback from you all on where you are, what your thought process is, and what are you getting from this lesson. Because I just don't want you just to be here to see what's going on for this week. I really want you to learn and understand. I want your attention span to be longer than 30 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes. Whatever I can do to help elevate you to that I want to do it. So make sure you give me some feedback. Even if you got to message me or whatever, just give me some feedback. Because I don't want you to take these things lightly, what's going on in the world today, and take my messages lightly. Because it's not. It's something that the Most High give me to give to you. So and it reads in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. And El spake out these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Els before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested on the Sabbath day. Wherefore, Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that their days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Let us pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory, forever and ever, so let it be. Let me go back to verse 10. Let me read you something. I want you to hear this. Verse 10 in chapter 20 in Exodus. But the Sabbath day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any work, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservants, nor thy maidservant. Nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gate. Listen to this. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Right here is telling you Yahuwah rested on the Sabbath. So it's what he's requiring of you. If Yahuwah rested on the 7th day, what should you be doing? You should be resting on the Sabbath day as well. It says, wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Okay? That's food for thought today. Let us go to Nehemiah chapter 2. Nehemiah chapter 2, verses 2 through 20. I won't hold you long today. I'm not going to hold you long today at all. Nehemiah chapter 2, verses 9 through 20. And the key verse is verse 10. Key verse is verse 10. And it reads, and when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobias the servant of the Ammonites heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. Let me read that over. And when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah, the servant of the Ammonites, heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. It grieved them. It grieved them to hear about somebody coming to look out for the children of Israel. And if I may give a title of the text today, the title of the text today is Haters Will Be Haters. Haters will be haters. Okay? Haters will be haters. And Let me give you a definition for today. The word grieve. The word grieve means to give pain of mind to afflict, to wound the feelings. Nothing grieves for an example, it says, nothing grieves a family like the conduct of a disobedient child. The word grieve means to afflict, to inflict pain on. Okay, it says, from a Bible scripture, it says, for what doeth not afflicts willingly, nor grieve the children of men. Okay, so the word grieve means to give pain to mind. It means to afflict. It means to bring pain to someone, physically and mentally. So when these people, when you heard these people say grieve, they's basically talking negative about the children of Israel. Okay, so I'm just going to basically right now go with one word. Like I said, today's title is Haters Will Be Haters. The word in the word today is grieve. Means to give pain of mind to, or to afflict, to wound the feelings, to hurt someone's feelings, to talk about in a negative way, or to treat someone in a negative way. Okay? So let me read you a little commentary about the book of Nehemiah this morning. It says, Nehemiah is a historical book of the Old Testament that describes the rebuilding of the city walls around Jerusalem. The book is named for its major personalities: a Jew servant of a Persian king, and an effective leader who organized and guided the building of projects. So what was actually going on during the book of Nehemiah? Nehemiah was helped rebuilding the second temple. Nehemiah was helped building and restoring the nation of his people, Judah. And in the process of him getting ready to start the process of rebuilding the nation of Judah, he had some pushbacks. He had some haters from outside of his country to not want him to rebuild his nation. And if we go to Nehemiah chapter 1, right? If we go to Nehemiah chapter 1, verses 3, it tells us the conditions of the city of Jerusalem. It says, and they said unto me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great afflictions and reproach, means shame. They're in great trouble and shame. The walls of Jerusalem also is broken down, and the gates thereof are burnt with fire. So Nehemiah is talking about the children of Israel was living in a decapitated state. They was living in a bad situation. And he felt sorrow and he felt compassion for his people. And he wanted to do something for his people because he saw the conditions that they was living in. He saw that the city of Jerusalem was torn down and was burned up because of what happened from Babylon to Persia. And he saw that the people was hungry. They was in a decapitated state. He saw that they were just living horribly. And he wanted to do something about the problem. I want us to understand that. A lot of the times when we see someone that's in a decapitated state or in a bad situation and we want to try to help them, we're going to always have haters in the process of us trying to do something good for somebody. We're going to always have haters that's always trying to stop us from helping other people to become better people. We always going to have that. We always going to have that in the situation that we're in today. And that's something we got to understand, and that's something that we got to recognize with our eyes, is that, I'm going to say, African American people or black people, we are in a decapitated state. We're in a decapitated state. Hebrews, tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, we are in a decapitated state. And every time we get a leader that's trying to pull us out from the bottom of the pit, we're going to always have somebody to try to stop them from doing it. But we got to ask the question, why are they trying to stop us? Or why are they trying to stop them? Why are they trying to stop our leaders from helping us and to come out of that state? To come out of that decapitated situation? Why are we having pushback? They seem like they should be happy for us that we are trying to come out of the decapitated state, but they're not. They're mad because we're trying to come out of the decapitated state. Why is that? Why do we always have pushback? It's just like, I guess it's still building up what happened last week. Why did Deion Sanders have so much pushback down at Jackson State University? Excuse me, I'm going to have to sneeze. But why did he have so much pushback? Why did Dr. King have so much pushback from trying to make sure that we come out of this decapitated state? Why did Malcolm have so much pushback when we try to come out of this decapitated state? Why did Marcus Garvey have so much pushback? Look at all the leaders that we had. Why did they have so much of a pushback from getting us out of this situation? And why are you having so much pushback today in your life and what you're trying to do? Why are people talking about you when you're just trying to do what's right? Why are people hating on you because you're just trying to do what's right? And that's something I think we need to really truly understand and think about, because people actually know your abilities. They know who you are. They know what your possibilities are. And they don't want you to walk in those abilities and those possibilities, because then it will take away from them. But this is an uplifting message today, because this is a message of determination. You got to be determined to do whatever it is it takes to be who you're supposed to be. You cannot allow anything to stop you from being who you're supposed to be. You cannot allow something to be a stumbling block for you. You can't allow whatever it is to be a stumbling block for you. That's why I said, y'all pray for me to give me strength to be able to exercise 3 times a week. Because I know I need to get in much better shape. And the guy that comes on my Facebook page I think go to the gym every other day, he gives me encouragement to be better indirectly. So we cannot allow things to get in the way of us becoming better people. Let us go to verse 9 in Nehemiah chapter 2. Let us go to chapter 9, Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 9. And I'm going to read, and I'm going to stop at verse 10, and I'm going to deal with that for a second. And it says, "Then I came to the governor beyond the river." This is when Nehemiah was sent to Jerusalem to be able to go start rebuilding, because he got the permission from the king. Excuse me, I may have a little gas this morning. It said, "Then I came," and also what I'm drinking this morning for my tea, I'm drinking turmeric, cayenne pepper, black pepper, lemons, garlic, ginger, and honey, right? That's what I'm drinking this morning. When you see me drink something from this, that's what I'm drinking. This is our tonic that we drink every morning, right? Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, this is our tonic, or this is something that we drink every morning to be, what it do? What does it do?
It builds your immune. It helps builds your immune system, and also just burn toxins.
Also help burn toxins with the garlic in there. It helps a whole lot. The garlic, I love the garlic because garlic is like a natural antibiotic. So it helps do that work in there. The ginger's good for you. The turmeric works off the black pepper. So that's what I'm drinking this morning. But let me get back to it. It says, then I came to the governor beyond the river and gave them the letters, the king's letters, his permission slip to travel. And now the king has sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. Now these are the haters. And then it says, when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant of the Ammonites heard of it, it grieved them. The word grieve means to give pain to mind, to afflict, to the wounding of the feeling. It grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. What does the word welfare mean? The word welfare means, in a good sense, in the widest sense, used likely as a noun, both in the masculine and feminine, singular, plural, in a good thing, or a good man, or a good woman. It means the beauty. It means the best. It means the bountiful. It means the well-being. They're looking. He come to inquire of the well-being of the children of Israel. Now, why would this man be so upset that Nehemiah came to inquire about the welfare of the children of Israel? Why do people get so upset with you when you start to be concerned and start to do your purpose in helping other people? Why do people feel that way? Why do people get upset? Why do people get to that point? Why do they hate you so much when you start to inquire and wanting to make somebody's life better? Why does that happen? Let us go to hold on. Let us go to let us go to Numbers chapter 22 verses 3 and 4. Numbers chapter 22 verses 3 and 4. Because a lot of the times, the reason why you have people that want to talk negative about you and what you're trying to do is because of verse 3 in Numbers chapter 3 and 4. In Numbers 22, 3 and 4. I'm going to go to verse 2 and then I'm going to read 3 and 4. Then it says, and Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was so afraid of the people Israel, because they were mighty, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the oxen lick up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Zippor, was the king of the Moabites at the time. Okay? So why would they get upset and start to have be grieved because the children of Israel are trying to rebuild the walls in Jerusalem and start to rebuild the temple and start to live right? The reason why they would get upset and mad with you because you're trying to rebuild your life and the children of Israel are trying to rebuild their life is because they understand who you are as a people. They understand your abilities. They understand what you have done in the past. They understand what you're capable of doing. Your enemies is the first point. The first point is your enemies. Your enemies understand you more than you do. It says in verse 3, he says, and Moab was so afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. Why? It tells you in verse 2. All that Israel had done to the Amorites. That means that when the children of Israel got into a fight with the Amorites, the children of Israel destroyed the Amorites. So Moab got afraid of the children of Israel because they had the same possibilities of destroying the Moabites like they destroyed the Amorites. Because it tells you in verse 4, and it says, and Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company, the children of Israel, lick up all that are round about us, as the ox lick up the grass of the field. So when you look at an ox eating the grass, the ox is just taking up the grass. He's just destroying the grass. He's just eating it up with no problems. So the Moab got afraid because he felt like the children of Israel would destroy him the same way he destroyed the Amorites. See, your enemies, they grieve because you're trying to rebuild yourself because of the abilities that you have to destroy them. And they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to be able to have the abilities and even have the mindset to want to restore yourself to where you can have the capabilities of fighting. They don't even want you to have a positive mindset about yourself to be able to want to rebuild yourself and to do something positive. They don't even want you to have that mindset, so whatever they got to do, they will be willing to do it to destroy you. And see, if you don't pray for eyes to see, ears to hear, and a mouth to speak, you won't be able to see what's truly going on in the world today. They subliminally attacking us because we just trying to find an identity. We're just trying to get ourselves together. And see, the enemy eats off the poor. They eat off the prey. They eat off the weak and the innocent. Because if you look at the Animal Channel, right? Animal Planet. I love watching Animal Planet. And the reason why I watch Animal Planet is because it shows you a lot about nature and natural things of order. Natural things of order. Okay? So when a lion or a hyena get ready to go try to attack something, they're not going to attack something that is strong. Most of the time, they're going to attack something that is weak and vulnerable. They're going to attack people that's uneducated. They're going to attack people who came up from a decapitated situation, a broken home. They're going to attack people that didn't have a father in their life. They're going to attack people that have low self-esteem. They're going to attack people that don't have no self-worth about themselves. They're going to attack people who don't have an identity. They're going to attack those people because all those things give you a foundation. And when you don't have those foundations, that's why that leaves you vulnerable and weak. That's why it was so important for Nehemiah to rebuild the temple, because it brought back structure. And see, a lot of your enemies don't want you to have structure, because if you have structure, that means that you have standards, you may have morals, you have character about yourself, you have limitations of things you will and won't do. But when you're broken, you're decapitated, that means that you'll be willing to do whatever you got to do, when you got to do it, to get whatever you need. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 25, verses 6, 7, and 8. Because Nehemiah was trying to build something that was broken and make it and to get it back to be what it's supposed to be. But the enemies didn't want him to do that, because then that is taking away their power. And it reads, and it says, "For thus saith Yahuwah, because thou hast clapped thy hands, and stamped with the feet, and rejoiced in the heart with all that despise against the land of Israel. Behold, therefore I will stretch out my hands upon thee, and I will deliver thee for a spoils to the heathens. And I will cut thee off from the people, and I will cause thee to perish out of the countries. And I will destroy thee, and thou shalt know that I am Yahuwah. Thus saith Yahuwah, because that Moab and Seir do say, Behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathens. Therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from the city and from his cities, which are on his frontier, the glory of the countrymen." That ain't what I want. Okay, but let us deal with verse 8. The reason why the Moabs in Mount Seir is clapping their hands and stomping their feet and rejoicing is because the children of Israel is living like heathens. And heathens means that they have no laws, statutes, and commandments. Means that they don't have no boundaries, meaning that they're willing to do whatever they got to do to live life. And see, a lot of the times, the heathens want you to continue to stay in that state because they have reign over you. They want you to stay in that decapitated state because they have control and power over you. The reason why they don't want you to rebuild yourself is because they don't want you, they will lose power over you. That's one of the main reasons why Nehemiah had so much of a pushback. That's the reason why we have had so much pushback here in the Americas, is because they understand who we are as a people. If we started to rebuild ourselves inside out, not outside in. Meaning that if you break up in a relationship, don't turn around and go get married again. Or if you break up with a relationship, not that, but if you break up in a relationship, don't go work out in the gym and try to get your physical body right. You need to go through some therapy and find out why you continue to have broken relationships. That's what I mean. So when we're looking at it, your enemies really truly love for you to be in bad situations. Because they clapping their hands, they stumping their feet at you, they making money off of you. They doing everything they possibly can do. Because they know that the minute you wake up, everything ceases for them. Everything that you got going on, everything that they got going on in their life, it ceases. Why? Because you are their livestock. Let us go to Exodus 1 and 9. One and 9, Exodus chapter 1, verse 9 and 10. Then it reads, and he said unto his people, behold, the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them. Come, let us deal wisely with them. Means let us manipulate them. At least they multiply, and it come to pass that when they are falling out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. So what it was saying in that verse is that, and I want you to understand something. This is when the children of Israel was helped build in Egypt. He was doing all these things for the Egyptians, right? And one of the things, this verse here in verse 10, the end of verse 9 and verse 10, it tells you why the Egyptians didn't want the children of Israel to leave Egypt. It says in the last three words, and mightier than we. The last verse, last portion of the verse says, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. That's just the reason why the Egyptians wanted the children of Israel to stay in Egypt. Because they're more and mightier than we. He said, in the middle part of the last second verse, verse 10, it says, and when they fought out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. They didn't want the children of Israel to leave the land, because they were benefiting off the children of Israel. The children of Israel is the ones that was uplifting the Egyptians. He was building the children. He was building Egypt. Black inventors. Black inventors. It says black innovators who elevated the United States, reassessing the golden age of innovation. This came out in November 23rd, 2020. I just want to read a little. I want to find you. Let me read you the second part of the second verse. A little part of the second verse. And this coming out of the Brookings. 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 And it came, the title is The Black Innovators Who Elevated the United States, Reassessing the Golden Age of Innovations. This came out on Monday, November the 23rd, 2020. Let me read this. It says the history of black people contributions to the catalog of innovations that marked the Industrial Revolution has been largely mute, means quiet. This period is considered one of the most innovative eras in world history, seeing the birth of a major advance in agriculture, transportation, communication, manufacturing, electricity that fueled rapid economic growth. With the exceptions of a few noble inventors who are regularly elevated during Black History Month, I'm not going to go through the names. It says the disregard of many of the era black inventors not only whitewash the historical record, but bias who perceive to be innovators in the present. And I'm going to read a little bit more and I'm going to stop. Okay, it says, using a database of inventors, this report demonstrates that black contributions to the Industrial Revolution were influenced by the disproportionate number of black Americans who lived in the South, who lived in the U.S. South in the late 19th and early 20th century, where their opportunities to acquire and apply skills were severely limited by oppressed institutions. But it also goes down to state that black Americans, we have invented over 50,000 things to the United States of American society within a whole. We have created and invented over more than 50,000 inventions that help. It says with 50,000 total patents, black people account for more inventions during this period than migrants from every country except England. The reason why you have your enemies being grieved because they don't want you to rebuild yourself is because of the benefits that they get off you. And that's what was going on in Nehemiah. Let's go back to Nehemiah, okay? Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 11. The reason why they don't want you to rebuild yourself is because they'll lose everything that they have gotten off of you. They won't get nothing from you no more. That means that you'll start redirecting everything back to your own. And that's something we really truly got to understand. Verse 11, it says, so I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. And I arose in the night, and I and some men with me. Neither told I any man what my God, what my El had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Neither was there any beast with me, save the beast that I rode upon. I want to deal with this for a second. And I want us to understand something. We have to be very careful about what we say and who we say it around. And Nehemiah is telling us in this verse that keep your mouth closed sometimes. Shut up. Don't tell everybody what you're doing. Because you're not around people who really truly care about you. Because if you was around people who truly cared about you, you wouldn't be in the conditions that you're in today. But because you're around your enemies, you got to be quiet. You got to watch what you say and how you say it. You got to be mindful of that. You can't tell everybody everything. And that has been our biggest mistakes. We have opened our mouths too much about what we're trying to do, how we're trying to do it, the way we're trying to do it. We have all these public conferences, and we have all these public meetings, and we have all these things there. but not realizing that the enemy is inside the meeting with us, listening to everything we said, how we're going to do it, and the way we're going to do it, and then they go tell the people, and then they wind up killing us and stopping the whole plan.
Yeah. Taking notes.
And that's something we don't even think about, because the simple fact is, we're not looking at it from the mindset of us trying to get out of something. And sometimes I talk too much. I say too much sometimes. But we don't see, Nehemiah understood his conditions. He knew where he was at. He knew what he was dealing with. So he had to go. Let's go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 3. And sometimes we got to shift our way of thinking. We got to shift the way we do things, because haters going to be haters. They want to stop the rebuilding of the temple. He says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 7, it says, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silent, and a time to speak. This is what Solomon was saying. It's a time for everything. So when you understand that you're trying to rebuild yourself, you understand that you're trying to do something positive with your people, you can't tell everybody what you're trying to do, because there's going to be some people among you that's going to try to stop it. If you look at our greatest leaders who was trying to make some great moves in the Americas to free the people, it was all done, it was all stopped because they had spies on the inside. That's why they got spies. To know what's going on the inside, so it can be going out to tell somebody else what they're doing. So Nehemiah understood that I need to keep my mouth closed right now. I need to keep my mouth shut, because I don't need to be telling everybody what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and the way I'm doing it. Because when I do, somebody may go tell them what I'm trying to do and try to stop the plan, stop the process. But see, sometimes we want to be boastful and I want to, but no, you're not realizing that you may be shooting yourself in the foot. Let's go to Amos. Amos 5 and 13. Listen, it says, therefore, the prudent shall keep silent in that time, for it is an evil time. Seek good, not evil, that ye may live, so that Yahuwah, the El of hosts, shall be with you, as ye have spoken. Sometimes when you understand the conditions that you're in, you understand that the people that's around you, and you understand what you're trying to do, you'll understand that you can't tell everybody everything. You need to shut your mouth and just do what you set your plans out to do. Because sometimes people could be praying against you to stop everything that you're trying to do. They could be trying to stop you from succeeding in your plans. You never know the hearts or the minds of people, because people are living off your people are living off your energy. They're living off your plans. They're living off your influence. They're living off everything about you. And they don't want, because the minute that you try to do something different than what they what they got going on, and you running your mouth, they can stop everything. They can stop everything that you're trying to do. And sometimes you just can't let that happen. You just got to be quiet. You got to shut your mouth. Because, I forgot, most movements get destroyed because the leadership run their mouth too much. And the reason why they run their mouth too much is because they're boasting and bragging about what they want to try to do. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. What? The time. I know. Listen to this. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But aware of men, for they will deliver you up to the council, and they will scourge you in their synagogues." Listen to what he said in verse 16. "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves." Wolves are enemies against the sheep. Sometimes you run your mouth somewhere because you think you're around your people who care about you. But in actuality, they don't give a flip about you. They don't care nothing about you. So that's why you got to keep silent. That's why Nehemiah was so silent, because he understand what his objective was, but he also understood who he was around. A lot of times we put all this stuff on Facebook telling people what we want to do, how we want to do it, the way we want to do it, and you just telling everybody your business. And they just hating on you and wondering why you ain't getting no business, or wondering why this is happening, wondering why that is happening. Because you never know what they're doing behind closed doors on you. Let's go back to Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 13 in chapter 2. Listen to when Nehemiah did things. Listen to when he did things. Listen to the time of day. In verse 13, he said, in verse 12 it says, "I also arose in the night." In verse 13, "I went out by night by the gates of the valley, even before the dragon well, and to the dung port, and viewed the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates thereof were consumed with fire." Nehemiah understood that he can't do everything out in broad daylight, because the simple fact is they'll be watching, and people be getting their eyes on him and watching every move he make, how he made it, the way he made it. So the way Nehemiah moved was very strategic. He moved at night where people are really not paying attention to him, and he didn't carry his animal. He was walking on foot. And how he moved was very strategic. He didn't do things out in the open public where people could see how he was doing. And then verse 14 he says, "Then I went on to the gate of the fountain and to the king's pool, but there was no place for the beast that was under me to pass." He says, "Then I went up in the night by the brook." He moved at night. He didn't move during the day. "And viewed the wall, and turned back, and entered by the gate of the valley, and so returned. And the rulers knew not whether I went or what I did. Why? Because he was moving strategically at night, so nobody was actually paying attention to what he was doing. Neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest that did the work. Did nobody know what Nehemiah was doing but Nehemiah? Nehemiah was smart, he was intelligent, he was precise, and he did things in a way that nobody could really comprehend what he was doing and how he did it. Nobody understood it. Because Nehemiah understood everything about his conditions that he was in. He understood his enemies, he understood his people, he understood the city, he understood everything. So when he understood that, it made him move in certain ways that people couldn't understand. It tells you. In verse 16, he said, and the rulers knew not whether I went or what I did. Neither had I as yet told it to the Jews, nor to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the rulers, nor to the rest of that did work. Then said I unto them, ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lie waste, the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come, let us build up the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more ashamed. The word approach means ashamed. And it says, then I told them of the hand of my heir, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. As they said, let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands, for this was good work. Understand that once they agreed to do the work, that's when he told them the plan. He told them what they needed, what they was going to do. Jeremiah was very smart in his plans on how he wanted to do things. He gave the people an appetite for something, and when he gave them the appetite for something, he gave them the resolution on how to fix it, or how to feed the appetite. He gave them the problem, and then he told them the solution to the problem. He said, Jerusalem is desolate. He said, now let us rebuild Jerusalem. But he only did that after they agreed to do the work. And see, that's the thing about it is, we got to agree to do the work of rebuilding the temple. We all have to agree to do the work. You got to do the work on rebuilding you. I got to do the work on rebuilding me. But we all got to agree to do the work in rebuilding the temple. And if we don't agree to that, we cannot have the temple rebuilt. Now listen to this. And when Sanballat and the Horonite and Tobias, the servant of the Ammonites and the Arabian, heard it, they laughed us to scorn and despised us and said, what is this thing that ye do? Will ye rebel against the king? Then answered I them and said unto them, the heir of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore we his servants will arise and build. But ye have no portion, nor rights, nor memorial in Jerusalem. I want to deal with verse 20. It says, then answered I them and said unto them, the heir of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore his servants will arise and build. Arise and build. Arise and build. See, we have responsibilities. If we want something to happen, we have responsibilities that we got to do. We got to put forth the effort. Even though we have enemies, we understand their problem. They are afraid of our abilities, but we got to make a commitment to rebuild. We got to make a commitment to stand. We got to make a commitment to protect. We got to make a commitment to stand on our solid ground. We got to make a commitment to do whatever it takes to rebuild a nation. You have to make a commitment to rebuild yourself. You got to make a commitment to make sure that you get out of a desolate situation and to rebuild yourself no matter what it takes. And when you read chapter 3 in Nehemiah, they did whatever they had to do to make sure that the walls got rebuilt. Even though that they conspired against them. I'm going to go to verse 4, chapter 4 and verse 8. You don't have to go there, but I'm going to go here. In Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 8, it says Tobiah, this is when they was very upset with the children of Israel for trying to rebuild a wall. It says Tobiah conspired all of them together to come and fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. See, we have to understand that people are going to continue to try to come against us as we're going through this rebuilding process. They're going to do whatever they got to do to stop us in this rebuilding process. But we got to be committed to the process. We got to be committed to continue to rebuild ourselves in this moment. Because we're in a desolate state, and we understand that we're in a desolate state. But we got to be committed to rebuild. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 18. And see, I gave a friend of mine a book to read this week. And one of the first books that I completely read, and it really had an impact on my life, was called Who Moved My Cheese? Who Moved My Cheese? I have this book. I read this book called Who Moved My Cheese? It was one of the best books that I could possibly ever read. Why? Because you would die if you stay in the same situation you're in and not try to make a change. That's what that book is about. You would die if you stay in the same conditions that you're in and never try to make a change. And most people don't make changes is because they are afraid to make changes. But this book here is a very easy book. It's a #1 seller because it's so simple. But it has such a large impact. But because they was committed to rebuilding the temple, they were successful. We just got to be committed to rebuilding our temple. We got to be committed to rebuilding our communities. We got to be committed to rebuilding our families because they're destroyed. They're decapitated. Ecclesiastes 7 and 14, it reads, 18, it reads, It is good that thou should take hold of this. Take hold of the commitment. Yea, also from this withdraw not thy hand. For he that feareth God shall come forth of them all. Wisdom strengthens the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city. When we make a commitment to rebuild a temple, we will figure out strategies. We will figure out how to move, when to move, where to move, all these things when we start to rebuild. Because it says, wisdom strengthens the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city. See, Nehemiah was a wise man in his operation of rebuilding the temple. He did not allow fear to take hold of him and stop him from rebuilding the temple. We can't allow nothing to stop us from rebuilding the temple. Let's go to Psalms 25. (12 through 14). Psalms 25, 12 through 14. Huh? Huh? I'm 12. It says, what man is he that feareth Yahuwah? Him shall he teach in the ways that he shall choose. When you fear Yahuwah, he'll teach you how to travel. He'll teach you and tell you how to go. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The secrets of Yahuwah is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. When we make a commitment to the Most High and we fear him, he'll show us how we should move, which way we should go. When we make a commitment to do the will of the Father, he'll show us how to eat. He'll show us how to drink. He'll show us how to live. He'll show us all this stuff. But we got to be committed to rebuilding the temple. Last one, Psalms 145. (19 and 20). I'm finishing with this one. Yahuwah is nigh unto all them that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desires of them that fear him. Listen to that. He will fulfill the desires of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. Yahuwah preserve all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy.
Yes.
The rebuilding of the temple, it gives foundation, it gives stability, it gives culture, it gives love, it gives everything that, it gives family, it gives unity. It gives you everything that you need to survive in this world. But when your community is desolate, when your community is uneducated, it is destroyed.
Uneducated, yes.
It is destroyed. Jerusalem was desolate. It was with fire. It was burned with fire. If we look at our community today, it's desolate. You got women tattooing their eyeballs. Now the person who tattooed their eyeballs are going blind, but she wants somebody to feel sorry for her because now she's going blind because she tattooed her eyeballs purple. That's a disgrace for someone to want to tattoo their eyes purple. That's no foundation. You're going to have pushback. You're going to have somebody to grieve you, talk about you. But you got to be committed to rebuilding the temple. And the word committed. It means delivered in trust, given in charge. It means imprisoned, done, engaged, exposed. You got to be taken in the charge. You got to be committed to rebuilding the temple, and whatever you got to do to rebuild it, you'll be willing to do it. That's how salvation, complete and wholeness come about, is when you be committed to rebuilding yourself, regardless of what your enemies try to do and why they're doing it. Because the same benefits that your enemy gets off you is the same benefits that you get off yourself. I want you to hear that and let that resonate in your mind. The same benefits that the enemy gets off you in your desolate state, if you commit to the rebuilding of yourself, is the same benefits that you'll get off yourself. If you stop spending money with people who don't like you and spend it with the people who like you, you get benefits from that. Because you're bringing that money back to your community 7 times fold. The same benefits that they get from you is the same benefits that you can get from you if you stay committed to the program. So that concludes the message for today. Your salvation comes when you be committed to rebuilding. Regardless of what your enemies try to do, if you stay committed to that, you'll be fine. So let us pray. Father, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Father, we thank you for everything you have done and what you continue to do. Father, we just ask that your will continue to be done. We ask that you continue to cover us, lead us, and guide us. In all these things we pray. In your higher name, so let it be. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. Have a good one.
I'm gonna make that shit wavy. Devil tryna take my mind, I've been doing fine. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he been on my line.